Welcome back to Crypto Meets AI. Right here with an update for you. Do me a favor, friends. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. It really does help the algorithm. Now let's get into this. We're sitting at $2.85, trading within a range of 282 to 303. We are down 6% on the day. We did test that low 282 to 280 range. In my opinion, we are crashing because of the tariffs that Trump put in place for the August 1st deadline. They don't take effect till August 7th, so we can see some more downward pressure around that time as well. Don't forget this. Ripple has spent years building relationships with central banks worldwide and securing money transfer licenses across key markets. With XRP at the center of its infrastructure, the groundwork is set. Global adoption isn't a question of if, but when. And just like clockwork, in every other month that comes and goes, 1 billion XRP are released from the escrow, and almost every single month I've seen, they always put about 700 million back in locked in escrow. So they're only really releasing 300 million. Don't let people fool you about the escrow. Before I get into this next portion of the video, I want to explain exactly what a blackout is. The blackout refers to a speculated, deliberate, and covert shutdown or disruption in global banking and financial systems, designed as an invisible dark window to enable a massive reset without sparking public panic. According to this theory, banks would use excuses like cyber attacks, system upgrades, or glitches to mask the transition from outdated legacy networks to Swift and Fedwire to modern ISO 222 compliant blockchain-based rails involving cryptocurrencies such as XRP, XDC, and Quant. Now, with that in mind, I'm not sure if you guys remember over the past year or so, we've seen these supposed cyber attacks and system upgrades and so-called glitches. Here's a list of financial institutions that fits this criteria or has had these type of issues. Via Credit Union, Cross Valley Federal Credit Union, Lafayette Federal Credit Union, DBS Group, Bank of China, SEPA Bank, Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union, Jordan Kuwait Bank, Capital One, SRP Federal Credit Union, and Western Alliance Bank. And there's many, many more. Now, the blackout needs to be invisible. If it were obvious, panic would break the system the elites want. This is not to cause fear, only to inform the public. No one to notice XRP, XDC, RLUSD are live and settling trillions. 99% to comply with the CBDC wallet migration. You to voluntarily opt in thinking it's normal. Signs you're in a blackout now. You can't see RLUSD burns mints in real time. Bank transfer times have become suspiciously slower. Digital asset volume is migrating off exchange and into DLT rail corridors. Public financial news is increasingly sterile, vague, or full of distractions. You're hearing more service interruptions or planned updates for back-end networks. Why would banks shut down? Systemic obsolescence. Swift, ACH, Fedwire, and RTGs are legacy systems being replaced by ISO 222 plus DLT rails, Ripple, XDC, Quant, for example. Banks are simply repositioned at front-end shells, while settlement shifts to tokenized ledgers. Reset synchronization. The shutdown allows central banks and global institutions to quietly revalue collateral, XRP, XDC-backed liquidity, burn off toxic derivatives, switch from fiat debt tokens to asset-backed instruments. You need a dark window to pull off that, hence blackout. Public narrative management. They will say cyber attack, system upgrade, bank holiday, or a glitch. While in reality, they're executing phase 3 of the global liquidity transition. Will you be safe? Yes. If your assets are in cold wallets like Decent, Ledger, Tangem, make sure you're holding your XRP, XDC, and HBAR, Quant, XLM, etc., the backbone of the post-reset rails. Your capital is outside custodial banks and not tokenized under a CBDC yet. XRP dominance, still the most bullish formation. XRP dominance is currently navigating a crucial threshold. It's vital that it remains above 4.5% to keep the bullish pennant formation intact. Remember, we're analyzing this on a monthly time frame, which means the signals are more robust and less prone to false alarms. Recently, XRP dominance broke out of its previous formation and is now retesting that breakout point. This is a pivotal signal that could set the stage for the next leg upward movement. And JP Morgan just opened the floodgates. 91 million Chase users can now move funds directly into crypto via Coinbase. No delays, no third-party apps, just one tap. Credit cards fund accounts instantly. Reward points convert to USDC. Bank linking in a single click.
JP Morgan Chase, America's biggest bank, is opening the doors to 91 million customers to move funds directly from their Chase accounts directly into crypto through Coinbase. This partnership unlocks crypto for the masses like never before. Here's what's coming, guys. In the next year, Chase users will gain instant access to credit card funding on their Coinbase accounts instead of having to wait days for it to clear. They'll have the ability to swap Chase reward points for USDC on Base. That's pretty cool. And connect bank accounts with one click without the need for third-party aggregator. Crypto will sit side by side with Apple Pay, Zelle, with zero friction and maximum trust. A single percentage point of Chase's 80 million active cardholders stepping in means 800,000 new crypto users and a 10% surge in Coinbase's active monthly users. A 5% conversion rate brings in 4 million new users, with each new user averaging $100 on their first purchase, which is typical of US retail starting point. That's hundreds of millions of fresh dollars moving straight into our crypto bags. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how stablecoins make the jump from niche crypto circles into everyday lives for millions of Americans.
Remember a time when Jamie Dimon, all he said about crypto was it's for money laundering, drug dealing, and criminals. It's crazy to see how a complete 180's taken in the last 2 to 3 years. An official Ripple National Trust Bank recognized by the OCC. Stuart Alderati and Timothy Keeney signed official OCC certification documents dated June 30th, 2025. Ripple is now setting up for a federally approved financial institution under U.S. law. Big things ahead for XRP and XRPL. Let's go over Ripple's OCC banking license application. Volume 1 is in the public release. The application provides some clues about Ripple's intentions and structures to consider. First, and maybe obviously, Ripple is applying to charter a limited purpose OCC regulated national trust bank. It would enable custody of RLUSD reserves and operating regulated infrastructure for tokenized finance and future Fed access. So it won't be retail. The CRA says it doesn't apply to national banks that don't engage in any lending or depositing taking activities and whose biz consists exclusively of fiduciary activities. No deposits or lending, strictly B2B banking and infrastructure. Probably obvious. This trust bank is explicitly built for RLUSD. Notice no mention of XRP here. Conjecture it behooves Ripple to distance XRP from the bank's regulatory application to avoid conflating an OCC supervised trust bank with a token at this point. That said, nothing precludes future XRP integrations. This is interesting because it means Ripple Labs owns the bank, issues their own private stock to execs. Also interesting that it's confidential. A friend remarked that this is common for businesses interested in an IPO. Summary, we know Ripple wants a national bank charter to create a banking compliant subsidiary to handle tokenization management. They are not seeking money transmitter license or deposit insurance. If they were granted Fed access to, they would become real liquid infrastructure. Also, the board is stacked so far. The organizers of the trust bank are John McDonald, John Zabagulia, I probably started that pretty good, Stuart Alderati, and Timothy Keeney. And last is David Puth. The trust bank will have a 5-member board of directors consisting of the 5 organizers I listed above. And now we're going to take a ride down the other rabbit hole, the Bitcoin deception, how the elites use BTC to hide XRP. BTC wasn't made for freedom, it was made for distraction, a digital gold decoy, while XRP quietly became the financial grid of the future. Let's decode this trap, the false messiah. For years, BTC was sold as freedom money, but who really benefited? Wall Street firms now dominate mining. BlackRock, Fidelity, and JP Morgan pushed ETFs in 2024. BTC became a regulated speculative asset. You're not escaping the system, you're in it. The Satoshi cover-up. Who created Bitcoin? The identity of Satoshi Nakamoto was buried, but documents show us deep U.S. connections. NSA Memo 2008, cryptographic eCash. DARPA funding early blockchain research. In 2009, Bitcoin.org registered anonymously in the U.S. Was Satoshi real or a front? Price manipulation by design. Elites created a psychological funnel. Maximalists push 1 million BTC predictions. Digital gold narratives trigger FOMO. ETF approvals pump liquidity. Retail buys in. Elites quietly exit. BTC is the exit trap, not the destination. The energy distraction. BTC mining consumes more energy than 160 plus countries. This is no accident. Global regulators push ESG narratives to kill BTC slowly, just when retail buys in. Meanwhile, XRP runs on 0.0079 kilowatts per transaction. Green, fast, and silent. XRP, the shadow grid. While BTC was hyped on stage, XRP built backstage. 300 plus banks and institutions used in ODL corridors across 70 plus countries. The BIS and IMF documents reference neutral liquidity tokens. Ripple co-hosted CBDC roundtables with the WEF. This isn't theory, it's happening, friends. The SEC smokescreen. In 2020, the SEC sued Ripple not for fraud, but for being too close to replacing SWIFT. During the lawsuit, Hinman emails leaked. Ties to Ethereum Foundation exposed. XRP classified as not a security in 2023. The lawsuit, a delay tactic, which I am not too mad about this delay tactic and them suing them, because while there were many people that were already in and investing in XRP, if they hadn't done that in 2020, that's when I barely came on board. I would not have had the time or chance to accumulate the cryptocurrency I have. BTC versus XRP. Who do they fear most? Ask yourself. Why was XRP banned in major U.S. exchanges until recently? Because they wanted to keep retail out. Why is it left out of ETF hype cycles? Because they don't want it to burn up yet. Why did global banking pilots choose RippleNet, not Bitcoin Lightning? Because BTC is controllable. XRP is the infrastructure. Behind the curtain, the real players, Palantir, BlackRock, Biz, IMF, all testing systems that align with Ripple's model. AI liquidity routing, CBDC interoperability, real-time settlement. BTC is not part of the architecture, but XRP is in the schematics. BTC maxis, willful pawns. They shout, not your keys, not your coins, while holding wrapped Bitcoin on centralized platforms. They fear XRP for one reason. It was never meant for the people. It was meant for the system that controls the people. The final flippening. When the dust settles, BTC becomes a fossil of the first wave. XRP becomes the liquidity layer of the machine age. And you realize Bitcoin was never the revolution. It was the illusion hiding the real one. Comment down below and tell me what you guys think about that. That is pretty damn interesting if you ask me. Well, that's what I have for you folks. Until next time, stay savvy, stay stacking, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want more crypto deep dives, check out our videos right here on Crypto Meets AI. Thank you for watching. Remember to always do your own research. This is not financial advice.